Hello, this is Dave Travels Through Time, and today I'm doing Star Trek The Next Generation, the very first pilot episode, Encounter at Farpoint. We're doing part one of that Watchalong, the first hour of the story. So, I'm going to go on Amazon Prime and start to get on it. No, that's not TV video. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I do live streams of Doctor Who, Star Trek. I've also done Batman watch-alongs as well. And on Thursday, I'm be doing a read-along, Doctor Who, The Missing Adventures, State of Change by Christopher Bullis. It's a 6 Doctor story novel with Perry. So that'll be fun to read. I'll narrate it. And then we're also mostly going to do the Oshitaki Mushrooms reenactment on Friday of the Angry Unicorn with the ice cream cone on the forehead. All right. So we'll get Star Trek on here. Let's see what we got. Star Trek. There's. All right. Here we go. Just got it ready. So in a few minutes, I'll start it. Encounter at Farpoint. The crew of the Enterprise is put on trial by a mysterious force called Q for all crimes of humanity. Yes, that's always entertaining. It's a good pilot episode. It's been a while since we've seen it. Start it in a few minutes. All right. One, get started. Skip the ads. That's gonna go. Cool opening titles of these. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Stars Enterprise. Continuing mission to explore strange new worlds. New life and new civilization to boldly go where no one has gone before. Michael Dorn. It's McFadden. From the Frank Marina Service. Brent Spiner. Will Wheaton. Executive producer, of course, Gene Roddenberry. So here we go. Encounter at Farpoint. Oops. No, I guess there's no way to do that. Dennis McCarthy. Main title theme by Jerry Goldsmith and Alexander Courage, edited by Tom Bitko. Margaret Lynn, her right. control side of the Enterprise D. Of course, the powerful minds shall be revealed. Cool special effect was it pretty well. Oh, Q. Hmm. John Delancey. Excellent villain. Originally, Patrick Stewart, he wasn't going to be, or Gene Roddenberry didn't want him to play Captain Picard because he didn't like that he was bald or something. It's interesting, of course, Worf, he would always have the red security uniform, but of course it would change later to where you would have a yellow uniform. And it'd be hard to imagine anybody else playing Captain Picard, honestly.
I went on a walk earlier. I just walked from my house all the way to the Capitol Mall and back. Yeah. It's not that far away from my house. Yeah. When you were eating with David. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm so glad that I'm done with school. Um, Basically, I read that because I can still access Canvas because I was able to from my phone yesterday. They didn't close out Canvas, or she didn't. Let me share it and show you. But I got a 255 on the portfolio. And so, no, it's
Yeah, Festival effects really do hold up, don't they?
like your email. You're waiting for the, the good thing. See, I'm able to access this. So courses and then the English 100. So, yeah, that's what.
Saucer separation, they call that.
Because we all completed it. Let me go back to the. Look at what we did to um, oh, I know where to go. I can go to grades actually. I got a 72 overall in the class. So I went to the grades. I don't care about all the late stuff because she already. So let me scroll down to final. I got a 7 for the final draft of SA4. I got 74 out of 100. Which we have. No. This one? The bacon was the purple, even though it's like this is what she said. She hadn't talked about this. She says, way to go, Jennifer, your writing has grown tremendously. Your paragraphs are organized, developed, and clear. Your sentences show us your thinking and are mostly correct. I got 50 points for the final. Hi Jennifer, I love your paragraphs to a future almost. You write with such enthusiasm. Great progress in work this semester. Great progress in work this semester. Keep writing, Jennifer, and keep writing. All the best to you. No, that's all she said. So I got 50 out of 50 for the final. Yes. And then,
Of course, they're on trial. By Q here.
For the percentage for everything, you're gonna be surprised. For overall writing assignments, 82.76%. I got for that. The participation in discussions I listened to you, so that's why I was a little lower than. So I got 38.687%. And then for peer review, 15.63%. And then quizzes, 70.2%. I got for quizzes. I got 108% for easy writing. 108% for that. And then English 115, 80%. So total 72.39% for this semester. And so like it's way fun. Total 100%. Yeah, we're done with writing until fall.
So are you still working at Goodwill?
Yes.
And so we should talk about the calendar and schedule and I got an email saying that you were interested in doing a volunteership again.
It was the Salvation Army food picture.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now and we'll just talk about it.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get is, do you really want to do the same volunteership or do you want to look at something new?
I wanna explore other options.
Yeah, that sounds like I think it would be great if we focus on something that is a little bit closer to where you live.
Yeah.
So it's not such a hassle to go all the way downtown.
Yeah.
But Kristen did give us the number or something to call there. So should we try and call and just see what that's about? Or are you just not wanting to do it?
Of course.
I
Tasha
don't
Yar,
know
her character only lasted the first season.
She's the
Her character,
volunteer
Yeah.
coordinator.
she only lasted this one season, but she does reappear
And I did that with
in the alternate timeline episode, Yesterday's Enterprise, season 3 of this, I believe,
grocery bag.
Next Generation.
I did really well with that, actually.
So you want to do it again?
Yeah, with the opportunity. I just like giving back to people. It's like being a homeless, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
I just want to look at other opportunities too, not just that.
Yeah, what about Gray Bears? Have you ever done any work with Gray Bears?
Yeah, I've done that.
No Gray Bears, okay. Let's see. Have you ever done groundswell, which is like pulling plants and gardening kind of stuff?
No, I haven't done that.
Any interest in that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to get down and dirty. We have, at my grandma's house, we have a garden. We just started a garden beginning this year.
Let me see if there's a space open for you there. It's on Mondays. What's your schedule like for that?
I only get her 1 day a week, which is like week one.
Fridays is it weekend?
Yeah, Friday, Friday.
It would be Fridays, I think, though.
Yeah.
Let's do some brainstorming. What other things would you like to do? Think of something that you've never done before. How about we do a little bit? Let's think big. Let's think big and expansive and then go up.
What about volunteering at a library?
At the library? Thing is, the libraries right now, because it's COVID, are
Limited.
that's a good look at this moment, but we can do it next year.
Yeah.
You ever like to volunteer with kids?
Yeah. I've done long time ago.
Usually, Next Generation was considered to be in its prime in its third season,
the,
but
yeah, the nature.
Oh, at Simpkins?
I think it was at Harvey West. Harvey West. I've done that. That was long time. I've done the animal shelter volunteer.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of order, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. I'm just glad I don't have school on that day. For like the summer freedom. Breathe.
You want to do some some cool stuff too?
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to do that. We were talking about doing that. Yeah, and see, yeah, let's do that. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. No, yeah. Well, when I was double looking at like the classes and stuff, they didn't have very many. Like when I was like looking at like the what I was like looking for as a like artsy kind of thing, I was looking into art, but it was very many. Because we were looking into that too, and they didn't have like these like art like painting classes during the summer. Just like oh, only fall or spring or not available at this point. They don't operate. It's like in the don't write things that you can't operate.
Adjourned, huh? Interesting. Now they're back to the Enterprise.
I never been to
Now there's a Brian. Of course, he would become an important member of the show in Deep Space Nine, lead character.
My shared gardens. It's over on. It was on Mission Street somewhere. Kristen and Allie. That's why we have technology. Yeah. Just so we know what to expect. So we know what to expect. Oh, It's the one on World Street.
Interesting place, Farpoint. Yes, there's Wesley Crusher. He's the equivalent of Adric from Doctor Who.
She's always in the front.
There's Geordie. Geordie LaFord.
Busy signal. Yeah? I like cooking. No. 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 I've done. Yeah, let's see if they have anything on Universal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And Rick is like, what the heck?
Yeah. So we find out from the Salvation Army where we stay.
Not exactly a run-of-the-mill happening yet.
At least until we know what's going on.
Seems to rely on the country that's not
At
prepared.
least until we know what's going on with the volunteers. Yeah?
Commander Riker will conduct a manual docking. Carter. Sir. You reported in to our qualified. Yes, sir. Then I need now, Commander.
My staff sometimes, when I have my staff, they try to take it. And then if I don't have that, I take care.
As ordered.
I actually logged in the Universal Personnel. No, I was able to do the share before. So this is where we are. This is back when we were working on grammar.
Velocity to 1/2 meter per second.
Who knew saucer separation to be such a big deal? Gotta be really careful. Gotta be exact. Want to take it too far, you damage the ship. So it's gotta be just almost there. There it goes. Whew.
Okay. Not very helpful. Searching.
Thank you, sir. I hope I filled some promise. I do have some questions for you, Howard. Guess what I thought you might. I see in your file the captain was sort of very highly. But curiously, however, you refused to let him be down to Altair 3. In my opinion, Sir Altair 3 was too dangerous to risk exposure. See, Captain Direct means nothing to me. Rather the reverse. But a captain's life means a great deal more to me. Just possible that you don't get to be a staff in captain without knowing it's safe to be down. The presumptions of the first officer's second guess is Captain Trust. Permission to speak candidly, sir. Always. Having been a first officer yourself, you know that assuming that responsibility must by definition include the safety of the captain. I have no problem with following any rules you lay down, short of compromising your safety. And you don't intend to back off from that position? No, sir.
Okay.
I've heard the same. Anything about it? Anything exactly? It will take strength to show that the captain is
Yeah,
so
with
much
your
appreciated.
theory 101.
Making an ass of myself with children.
Theory number 2.
An old family man like that. And yet, it's not easy to get shit of children. Listen, I feel comfortable with children. Since Captain is the image of geniality, you'll see that's what I project. I said, welcome to the Enterprise, Commander Riker.
So basically, so if you are the competition who drives off looking for your friends, wants everyone to come to your house, feels like you have a dark heart with ideas could ever possibly. Then you might want to start for a few.
Choice number 2.
Exploratory surgery.
Okay.
Desensitized the brain
Cater, cook, and drink coffee.
No, thank you, Doctor.
I understand.
Unlike restaurants where the all cooking is the added
I love the interior of the Enterprise D.
Yes, sir.
There's Worf. He would also appear in Deep Space Nine. Oh, McCoy. He's an admiral now.
Practices party planning, cooking for a crowd, planning meals, dealing with customers, I can go back to brass category.
There's Q again. Uh-oh.
So these are all.
We must proceed in our own way. You have 24 hours. Any further delays.
Career training, finance, history. There's over 100. This is the one that we were just looking at.
We do exactly what we do in this queue never existed. We're going to be damned as be damned for what we really are. Personal log started 4115.3.8. For 24 hours, we were lost in us to prove ourselves. 11 have now passed without incident. And yet I cannot forget Q's prediction that we will face some critical test. This planet's interior heat provides an abundance of geothermal energy, but it's about all that this world does offer. That is your belief that this is what makes possible for strength this place to stop and stand. Yet, we have to assume that they betrayed their surplus energy for the destruction of materials. According to our ship scan, many of the materials used are not found.
Martin would take some luck.
Almost magic attempts. Those events did happen.
Research, tools, business,
None of it suggests anything threatening.
business reading,
We have little life form and as much desire to be
business budgeting,
ready to do that. We will control the
business
use of
coaching,
and so on.
business
I have a feeling there's more to it than just trying to win.
credit,
It's something Q is doing on purpose.
business
Over
ethics,
here, I've asked the council to join.
business etiquette.
I introduce our new
Closer customer service, closer career coaching, children's birthday, collaboration skills,
I too will never say goodbye without it.
Of course, they have a long history. And then Troy.
no objections to that.
Internet
It's more. Let's see. Halfway.
constructive feedback, and
What's a few more minutes, and then I'll call it a stream.
green effective sales team.
No constructive
creative thinking, criminology, crisis management, critical thinking, cross-cultural customer service 101, cybersecurity 101. I'm still at detention. Delegation developing great social skills, effective communication, oh Lord. So there's, oh, I don't need essay writing.
This is the book I'm going to be reading tomorrow. I'm going to be doing it for stream. I'm going to read and narrate this book here. Doctor Who, State of Change.
Essay writing.
Colin Baker, Sixth Doctor novel here. State of Change.
Estate planning, etiquette 101, etiquette and Fair Standards Labor Act. Fashion Design 101. An introduction. I did, where I learned to read about high school. I took an ROP class in high school. Before I was-
Oh, that's right. You need some of the holodeck data. Remember this part?
I never thought of that.
Holodeck was a new idea for the show, too. Holodeck wasn't seen in the original Star Trek.
So, this self-paced online course. What are you doing? 11 lessons, 27 exams and assignments, 10 hours average time, 1.0. Floor arranging is much more than simply putting a bunch of flowers in them and filling it with water. Learning the basics of floral arrangement will help you put together simple basic flowers sometimes with an elegant professional style. In this course, you are going to learn the fundamentals of flowering and the basic tools needed to help you prepare for beauty and be used in office. In this course, you will learn the most of principles of design, how to use flowers and floral available to you in your area and the mechanics of arranging things. The floral, the floral film, and at hand. Yeah. I think they offer it online, don't they? Online?
No, it's in person. I know it's Monday and Tuesday, like 3:30 to 6:20.
I'll think about it.
Find out that
interesting. Like, wow.
Yeah. Like we could also just do it at our scheduled time online together.
Yeah. Why don't we do this class?
Okay. So keep reading that. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay.
Other opportunity.
In this course, you'll learn elements of arranging the basis of world arrangement and application. You'll learn how to create plastic, replicate, and anti as well as the cubes that are arranged in a variety of computers such as plastic, boxes, and bags. Stop thinking that there are critical rules about creating useful world. Learn to trust your vision while you are creating a flow work of art. Flowers are meant to be enjoyed by you and by people who love to receive them. Once you complete this course, you will have the ability and purpose to create floral arrangements for all types of types of events. From a Mother's Day tea party to simple and elegant art. Yeah. Julie.
One thing I didn't know is Will Wheaton, he actually likes Doctor Who, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm probably going to close this episode. Pretty good so far, though. Got like 20 minutes of it left, so I'm going to finish that on probably Friday. Just as an encore, why don't I read a little bit of this? Turn my camera off. And I'll do it like this. Here we go. So Doctor Who. So the book again, State of Change. I'm gonna read the book. We'll do it through audio. Read a little excerpt before I read it. More of it tomorrow on a stream. The vessel enfolded within its private micro-universe tumbled silently through the infinite gray void. Fell towards the place where matter and energy are one, where the dimensions that define the very structure of reality became blurred and meaningless things. At the heart of the gray void lay the vortex of hyperspace. Then the vessel changed. Its artificial cusp of twisted time and space got constricted, divided into two unequal portions. The nick between the two shrank and disappeared, and they separated. The larger section vanished, dropping out of hyperspace and into reality once more. The smaller section fell in through the void alone towards the vortex. Within one slot of the compartments of the abandoned subsection, a single occupant labored feverishly over a tangled mess of complex circuitry. The litter of the floor, open service panels and conduits in the compartments, oddly patterned walls showed where cables and servo modules had been torn from their housings. The dim lighting flickered every few moments, causing the worker to glance quickly up over to a monitor screen into one wall, before returning to her task with a renewed vigor. Her coldly attractive features were set and implaceable, as though by sheer willpower she could force the improvised control board she was assembling to function. On the monitor screen, the image of the vortex expanded, a swirling maelstrom of blazing, impossible ice-showering colors, shaping themselves into withering streamers underneath that could swallow sun. Steady inexorably, the fascinating yet terrifying scene grew larger, filling and then overflowing the screen until all that could be seen was a single dark rent in the boiling energy storms, gaping like a hungry mouth. Then with a sharp, exultant cry as he's finished, her nimble fingers danced through the contacts on the improvised panels. On the monitor, the detail of the vortex surface showed the rate of expansion that started to drift across the screen. The vessel's fall had become a safe orbit about the vortex. For a few moments, she allowed herself to lecture inactivity, letting the knots of tension withhold, untwist within it. Now, what could be the best way? Do to him what she had to her, of course, but she could be more through through than he had been seen entering. He had assumed she was doomed and had left her such stupidity, such arrogance. When the time came, she would be able to actually see him suffer until the end, until she was certain that a warning light flashed. Boom, 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 boom. Amid the tangle of hastily assembled components and cables that led the floor, as he frowned at the intrusion on her pleasant line of thought and adjusted control, the image on the monitor screen slipped aside as the camera turned to look forward. Over the churning and tormented limb of the vortex silhouetted against the gray of the void, dark speck had risen, swelling in size, even as he watched revolving himself into a perfect jet blackness. Something else was in orbit about the vortex, with her in the same orbit but traveling in the opposite direction. Too late, she started to work the controls, trying to change course, trying to rise above the object that had become a pit of night hurtling towards her crippled vessel. For one terrible moment, the monitor showed nothing but absolute and total blackness. Then the hole in the void fell on along its endless orbit about the vortex alone. The regular beat of the drums of Cleopatra's royal broads drifted across the sapphire waters of the Nile. Twin rows of oars dipped and pulled in time, driving the safety craft up the broad, slow river towards Rosetta. From the canopied deck, thin streams of sweat incense billowed and spread in its wake. Sunlight glinted off the barge's golden ornamentation and glowed on its brilliant paintwork. On the river bank, the sunlight also glinted off a telephoto lens protruding through the scrubby grass that capped a long, low sandhill. The sound of a camera shutter clicking rapidly could be heard. Behind the camera grasses, the young woman operating the camera brushed a strand of her dark color-length hair back beneath her sun hat, adjusted the focus, and saw another series of pictures. By her side, a tall man also lay prone, observing the scene through a long brass-bound 19th century naval telescope. Gradually, the drum beat faded away as the barge shrunk in the distance. The woman over her camera revealed a keen, attractive features, dark hair, dark eyes, and a delighted smile. Cleopatra's own personal royal yacht, she explained, speaking a light American accent. And I've got it on film. She paused thoughtfully for a second and chuckled ruefully. Guess nobody will believe me, even so, will they, Doctor? Companion lowered her spyglass, regarded with mild approach, his brow furrowing beneath his mop of curled, tinted hair. He spoke in precise tones like a kindly but censorious schoolmaster. My dear Perry, I sincerely hope you do not intend to exhibit those photographs to all and sundry when you return home. I only agree to you bringing that camera on the understanding that any pictures remain private. Have you any notion of the potential temporal paradox arising from a society discovering proof that time travel is possible before it should? Besides, he added exasperation in his manner, is it not enough that you know what you've seen? Really, I take you to witness a little-known historical incident, namely the purported cruise of Cleopatra before her journey to Tarsus and her epic meeting with Mark Antony. And you are more concerned with the record of the event than the experience of actually being here. She was getting used to the doctor's mindly impassioned outbursts by now and had learned not to take them to heart. She responded with carefully judged innocence. Doctor, you never really explained why you came here. The stern schoolmaster became an eager lecturer when it suited them. The doctor delighted in dissemination knowledge. Well, this was purely to rehearse her arrival in Tarsus. Remember, she had been summoned by Triumvir, one of the most powerful men in the world at the time, an effective master of Rome's eastern possessions. She wanted to leave nothing to chance, nothing that her future might depend on the impression she made. Her actual journey up the Sind was far more splendid than what we've seen today. This was only a dry run, Perry suggested. The doctor snorted at the pun. Perry had been kind of calculated, wasn't she? The doctor's eyes narrowed retroactively. I would say rather she was a product of her day. He sat up and waved an arm, expressive across the marshes and shallow lakes of the Nile, delta to the horizon, which took flight in a clatter of wings. This was the center of the world for the people of this age. The struggle was for its dominance. Life was inherently hard, and for such stakes, practically any form of behavior, however ruthless, was acceptable. The final prize would justify the means. You can hardly judge them by the standards of your own period. For a long while he was silent and thoughtful. Perry sensed he was looking back on his own past, contemplating more years and experiences than she could comfortably conceived. She felt a tingle run up her spine. Moments like this made her conclusion of the gulf that would always divide them. Briskly, she got up and brushed off her knees and the front of her shorts. Despite her light clothes, she felt sticky in the humid warmth of the delta. Beside her, the doctor stood up and shook off his long, multicolored frock coat, which he had been rusting on. He seemed unfairly cool as well, always. I'll say one thing about photos, Doctor. The heat and flies don't come with them. Nestling in a hall at the foot of the stand, it was the form of an antiquated British police call box. As they walked up to it, Barry ventured, "Crew passage Row and Tarsus is so silly. I shouldn't suppose we could." "Not with that camera," he said firmly. "Tarsus wouldn't be far too public to risk it being seen, let alone the personal danger. Imagine the effects of a device like your camera falling into the wrong hands in the wrong age. Far worse than your pictures. The timeline might not stand the strain." He drew a key on a length of black ribbon out of an inner pocket. Perry wasn't daunted. "Well, can we go somewhere and see the sights then? I mean, probably mix with all the people and stuff, somewhere really old and classical." The doctor inserted the key in the door of the police box and smiled at her. "You exhibit your nation's renown, fascinated with antiquity, merely for its own sake. Has traveling with me not taught you yet that time is relative and simply a question of point of view?" "Maybe I'm slightly not as jaded a traveler as you, Doctor. I mean, why did you tell me it's built TARDISes for otherwise? And why do you keep all those different clothes in the wardrobe room? Anyway, can we try it?" He looked for a moment at her intent and eager face to remember that when he too had been young. So long ago." He smiled suddenly, his face like an impish schoolboy. "Yes, I think we might at that." He opened the door of the police box and they stepped into another universe. Seeker followed the trail of senses that do not even have names. Turnarounds from the mainly across the light centuries. A couple occasions actually branched into separate tracks and traveled parallel with itself before conjoining again. None of this troubled the seeker. Time was irrelevant to it, and as every sensation was new, and tenacity and patience were simply experiences that it had not encountered before. If any emotion could be applied to the seeker, then it might be said to be happy. By analogy, it might be likened to an extra cosmic cat chasing the yarn of wool between the stars and through the ages, trying to catch the unraveling ball at the end. Seeing the doctor, strong appearances can be deceptive, thought Perry, not for the first time. Seeing the doctor stood by the TARDIS's main console, sprouted like a high-tech hexagonal restroom from the control room floor. Outside the doors were the heat, sand, and flies of Egypt in 1401 BC. Inside it was timeless as the doctor fused over the controls. She looked around the spacious, white, coolly lit room, a big part of the home for her in recent months. The room's irregularity, curving walls formed of many panels, patterned with vertical rocks of recessed circular molding, and some of which glowed softly, occasionally broken by net Doric-style fluted columns. Scattered about the room's odd mixture of furniture, the props indicate the doctor's feelings for the favorite plant, a Sheraton chair, a Chippendale, a large Chinese pot belonging to a dynasty Perry had never heard of, and a massive brass-bound sea chest from which had come the vintage telescope. On the carved stand was a bust of Napoleon, while its twin was an ormolu clock. Perry had seen the doctor's regular wind and set the clock to match, presumably ship's time. The most bright card in the room was the doctor's flamboyant coat, which hung by itself on a tall handstand. "I think Rome about the year 150 AD by your calendar," the doctor said, lifting his gaze from the timeline displayed between the pair. "The rule of Emperor Antimonius Pius. That's be the optimum period to see many of the great buildings at their best. While the social conditions were at the most stable, something of a golden age by the standards of the time. I'll just check to find the precise destination details." Turned his attention back to the screen again. "Sure, that sounds fine, Doctor. Look, I'm going to wash some of the dust off, so take your time." He made for the door leading to the interior of the time, and hesitated. "Say, Doctor, we're going to try to blend in with the locos, right?" "Of course, that's the main point of this exercise." "So you won't be wearing your coat?" The doctor gazed almost regretfully at the gaudium. "Well, unfortunately, it wouldn't match the local styles." "That's great, Doctor. I can't wait to see you in a toga." All right, so that's a little excerpt of it. So I just want to read a few pages of it. So finish more tomorrow. Read more of that. Doctor Who State of Change, Missing Adventures, written by Christopher Bullis. And then we'll finish Counter Farpoint on Friday. Pretty good so far. So yeah, and then Saturday, let me look at Paycheck here real quick. Guess I can go back to camera real quick. Let me look at Paycheck and see. It should still be on here. Do lots more of that's Paycheck. There we go, Paycheck. Let's see if it's on Amazon still. Yep, cool. So your lots, nice. Okay, so what's on Saturday? Sweet. See how that holds up. All right, guys. So I just did the Watchalong, did a little excerpt of this. Gonna do more reading of this tomorrow on a stream. Hope you had a good day. Good rest of your day. Take care. Peace. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Take care. Bye for now.